The Life and Legacy of Stanley Milgram from 1933 to 1984 by Thomas Heining. Part 1. Bibliography. Stanley Milgram was born to Samuel and Adele Milgram, growing up alongside his siblings, Marjorie and Joelle. His childhood was largely shaped by the turbulent years of the Great Depression, an era that significantly influenced the family's financial struggles. Despite these challenges, Milgram showed academic promise from a young age, excelling in school. He attended James Monroe High School, where he was recognized for his intellectual talents. During his time at Monroe, Milgram crossed paths with another future influential psychologist, Philip Zimbardo, with whom he shared several classes. Their early connection would later prove significant, as both would go on to shape the field of social psychology in different ways. After graduating from James Monroe in 1950, Milgram attended Queens College, where he continued to demonstrate a strong academic ability. However, his life was profoundly affected by the passing of his father in 1953. This loss left a deep emotional mark on him and significantly shaped his future path. Milgram completed his Bachelor of Science in Political Science, but his experiences and interests led him to pursue a PhD at Harvard University, where he hoped to expand his knowledge and academic career. The decision to switch to psychology, a field that would later define his legacy, came during his years at Queens College. Milgram's entry into Harvard was not without difficulty. The university was highly competitive, and Milgram was initially rejected from the program. Determined to gain admission, he took summer classes to improve his qualifications. His persistence paid off when he was finally accepted. At Harvard, Milgram studied under the guidance of renowned psychologist Gordon Allport, who would influence him intellectually. Milgram earned his PhD in psychology in 1960, a pivotal achievement in his career. During his time at Harvard, Milgram met Alexandra, a young woman who would become his wife, and the two would later embark on a life together that balanced both personal and professional milestones. Milgram's academic career began when he was accepted as an assistant professor at the University of Yale. It was at Yale that he would conduct some of the most groundbreaking and controversial research in psychology, particularly his studies on obedience to authority. The Milgram experiment, which explored how far individuals would go in following authority figures' commands, became his most famous and influential work. His experiment demonstrated that ordinary people could commit harmful acts when instructed by an authority figure, offering profound insights into human behavior and the power dynamics between individuals and authority. After his seminal work on obedience, Milgram married Alexandra, and they started a family. Their son Mark was born in 1967, followed by their daughter 2 years later. However, Alexandra's professional career came to an end shortly after the birth of their children. Despite the changes in his personal life, Milgram remained closely connected with his siblings, Joel and Marjorie. He continued to teach at Yale, where he mentored several significant psychologists. In 1967, Milgram took a full tenured position at New York Graduate Center, marking the next phase of his professional life. Milgram's health began to decline in the 1970s, a period marked by personal struggles, chronic stress, and heart problems. Despite these challenges, he continued to engage deeply with his academic work. His commitment to his studies remained strong until his ultimate death from a heart attack in 1984. At the time of his death, Milgram had several unfinished projects, leaving a legacy that continued to influence the field of psychology long after his passing. Part 2. Famous Works. The Milgram experiment was designed to investigate the extent to which individuals would obey an authority figure, even when asked to perform actions that conflicted with their personal morals. Participants were instructed to administer increasingly severe electric shocks to a Confederate who pretended to be a learner, with the shocks labeled as lethal. Despite the apparent suffering of the learner, a majority of participants continued to administer the shocks under the encouragement of the experimenter. The results revealed that ordinary individuals were willing to follow authority figures even to the point of harm, sparking debate on obedience, authority, and human ethics. The study, published in 1963, became one of the most famous in psychology but also faced heavy criticism for its ethical implications. The small world problem. Milgram also explored the concept of social networks through the small world problem, an experiment designed to investigate how people are indirectly connected through acquaintances. Participants were tasked with sending a letter to a target individual, passing it through people they knew who might be closer to the target. The results showed that on average, it took about 6 steps to reach the target, giving rise to the popular concept of 6 degrees of separation. The study, published in 1967 in Psychology Today, offered important insights into the structure of social networks and the interconnectedness of individuals across large populations. In 1972, Milgram conducted another study titled The Familiar Stranger, aimed at exploring how often people recognize each other in everyday life without direct interaction. The study observed 2 individuals who regularly passed each other in public places without speaking. Despite the lack of interaction, they acknowledged each other through nonverbal cues such as brief glances or subtle gestures. This research demonstrated how familiarity and recognition could occur even in the absence of direct social contact, providing further insight into human behavior and social dynamics. Part 3. Impact Today. Milgram's work fundamentally shaped the study of obedience, authority, and social behavior. His experiments provided critical insights into how authority figures influence individuals' actions and decisions, even in extreme situations. His research had lasting relevance, particularly in fields with power imbalances such as the military, law enforcement, the judicial system, classrooms, and hospitals. Milgram's findings continue to inform modern psychology, particularly in understanding the complexities of human behavior when influenced by authority. Milgram's research advanced theoretical understandings of social influence, especially how situational factors can overpower personal morality. His work had a broad impact on fields like corporate ethics and education, emphasizing the importance of questioning authority and promoting independent moral judgment. Corporate ethics training and early educational programs now frequently incorporate Milgram's insights to help individuals navigate power dynamics and make ethical decisions in challenging situations. Milgram's experiments raised serious ethical concerns, particularly regarding the distress caused to participants who believed they were inflicting harm on others. The long-term mental effects of these experiments also became a point of debate. In response to these new concerns, ethical guidelines were developed to protect the welfare of participants. These guidelines now emphasize the need for informed consent, debriefing, and ensuring the well-being of individuals involved in psychological studies. Milgram's work had a profound impact on contemporary discussions about civil disobedience, social justice, and ethics. His experiments continue to be referenced in debates surrounding issues like police brutality, corporate scandals, healthcare ethics, and other issues where individuals must grapple with the consequences of following unethical orders. Milgram's research remains crucial in understanding power dynamics, moral responsibility, and the complex interplay between authority and personal agency in modern society. His studies have fundamentally shaped how social influence is understood in psychology and continues to resonate in discussions of ethics and authority today.